They think we're state-sanctioned terrorists and we're just terrorists in general. But I don't see how we're terrorists if we're fighting racism.
Today I'm in Portland, Oregon, and I'm gonna be checking out PAWS, which is the Portland Occupied Zone. It's a place where police are not welcome. I'm not really sure what I'm getting myself into, but we're gonna see what it's like. I'm not sure if I'm actually gonna be able to film inside. From the stuff I saw on Twitter, it looked like they're not very friendly to people recording or people live streaming. Yeah, I'm not really sure what's gonna happen when I pull out my camera. Honestly, I'm a little nervous, but we're just gonna see what happens. So I've been having trouble finding the place. I'm using like a map I found on Twitter, but I just stopped into a local grocery store and the owner told me exactly where to go. So we are almost there. So I just made it to the boundary of the PAWS zone. And it looks like it's very well barricaded. There's like all these strips of saran wrap that go all the way down the street. And this looks like just more barricades. I've been here for a few hours now, just walking around, asking people questions, asking why they're here. They're here to protect a family that's being evicted. They have barricades. It's very organized. They have people giving out food. They have people giving medical help. So yeah, it's like a very strong sense of community. There's what people think are police helicopters flying over. The only thing that's kind of weird is the family that was being evicted asked that no one film inside of the barricade. That's why photographers and filmers are being met with some hostility. For example, right when I pulled out my camera, I didn't know that rule, and a lot of people let me know that I should not be filming. They said they would smash the camera, stuff like that. So yeah, that's the only weirdness that I've experienced, but everything else has been cool. But the general goal of this is good. People have good intentions. So yeah, even, I mean, Antifa's here, and you know, I wouldn't say I feel threatened in the slightest. Hey guys, I'm here at the PAWS? What's it called?
They're calling it RAZ right now, Red House Autonomous Zone.
Okay, so what's the Red House?
The Red House is it's a house that's been owned by the Kinney family since 1950s. They tried to do an illegal eviction on them yesterday morning and ended up taking quite a few of the members into their custody.
So why were they trying to evict them?
I think it was foreclosed by the bank, but it fell around the same time that we were doing the moratorium or whatever it was for the no evictions. And so they tried to get it
so the city said no evictions, but they still tried to evict them.
I believe that's what happened.
So this girl was partially right. The city of Portland was trying to evict this family during the eviction moratorium, but their legal troubles go way back to 2016 when they stopped making payments on their loan, which, by the way, they had taken out to pay for legal bills for their son who had ran over and killed an 83-year-old man. And then in 2018, they were officially foreclosed on. So by this time, they had been squatting there illegally for 2 years. So I'm not a legal expert, but I don't think the eviction moratorium applies in this situation.
But yesterday they actually ended up taking quite a few members in, and there was quite a big clash with the police. People were throwing rocks, they got a couple tires popped, they tried to grab a couple officers out of the car.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it went cuckoo. They got this up, like we've been building this all day yesterday, the barriers. Yeah. And they've just been getting more and more complicated and just so much more sturdy. It's been kind of amazing to watch. So
the barriers just to keep the cops out, keep the evictions not happening.
Yeah, we're trying to keep that family in that house. That's their family home. It's been there for generations.
Right.
And after what happened yesterday, they said, fuck you. And they built barriers everywhere.
Nice,
like, I don't know if you've been around everywhere. Like, each
no, I don't think so.
street has massive barriers.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like 5 of them in a row. Like, it's going to be hard for them to get in.
Oh my goodness.
They're going to either injure themselves or injure us trying to get through.
Yeah, so how do you feel like this is going to end? Like,
I don't think they're going to show up. If they do, they're going to show up in a mass force, and it's going to be early in the morning when we're asleep.
Right, right. To evict the family.
Yep.
So the family's still there right now?
Yep, they're all in the basement. There's 10 of them in there.
Oh, geez, okay.
Yep. We've been keeping them in there. People have been donating non-stop. There's so much stuff that's been donated.
Oh my God, yeah, like the encampment, there's like soup and there's like fresh food and like it's a total sense of community.
It is. Community definitely showed up finally. Like, it was beautiful. They've been very helpful before, but I've never seen it like this. This was just amazing to watch. Like, within days, it was just so much stuff. And tons of construction stuff to help fortify it. Yesterday, it just sounded like a straight construction zone. It was kind of awesome.
Hammers and saws, yeah.
Yep, and drills. It was really cool to watch.
What do you think it is about Portland that, like, why does the community come together around this stuff, and like, why is there so much traction with these kind of movements?
I think it's just the kind of people that come to this city, honestly. You get some really wholesome people that move out here. And we're just, a lot of us too are just, we're so tired of this homelessness, the way they get treated.
Yeah.
The way they get ripped out of their homes when we could have just like come together and raised the money instead of getting them evicted.
Yeah.
Like, he said something about how we're violent and we've got weapons and we need to lay down our arms and stop harassing the neighbors. And we all just were like, did you talk to anybody in this community? Because almost every single business and apartment complex, they have come and helped. They bring their children and they get lunch. Like, there's no weapons, there's no hostility. The only issue we have is we ask people don't film.
Right, yeah.
And if they come in there filming, you're gonna get met with a little aggression, sorry, because we've asked people multiple times. Everybody knows you're not supposed to film in there.
So why is that? Why do they not want people filming?
The family asked it. It was the mother's request. I did not get to ask her that though. But.
Yeah. Huh. But you feel safer. You don't think there's aggressive people, like, inherently.
The only people I'm afraid of is the Patriots and the Proud Boys and the Chuds and the police. Fox News has done nothing but twist everything into the wrong narrative. They call us we're state-sanctioned terrorists. Like, the
talking
state
about
didn't sanction
Antifa
us.
or just
Antifa, yeah. They think we're state-sanctioned terrorists and we're just terrorists in general. But I don't see how we're terrorists if we're fighting racism.
So you've been pepper sprayed? You've been like
I've been
gassed.
everything. I've been gassed, I've been pepper sprayed, I've been bear maced, I've had it all. Never gonna forget summer 2020.
That's for sure. Yeah, we're definitely living through history. Well, all right, thank you for your time.
Yeah, no
awesome.
problem.
Cool, right on. So that was very different than I thought it was going to be. Stuff I saw on social media, like Twitter, made it seem kind of scary. You know, everyone's wearing black, there's graffiti everywhere, they've, you know, barricaded the street in lots of places. So kind of viewing it from the outside, it seemed like a very intimidating environment, but actually being there, it was pretty mellow. It was just like a big hang, you know, there's tons of bonfires, tons and tons of people came and donated food, like dozens of pizzas. There was like a soup kitchen, there was people grilling hot dogs and making ribs. So in that way, like, the sense of community was really, really strong. I personally don't agree with how strong of a reaction the city has had over evicting this one family. It has kind of turned into almost a war zone. I saw people with paintball guns, I saw people with bear spray, like, people were armed. I saw a guy with a rifle. There was actually an organized seminar on how to use shields. Like, I think Antifa had made these makeshift shields for us to use and kind of fight back against the police. It seemed like that could get out of hand really fast. So the main thing that rubbed me the wrong way was their attitude on filming. Right when I got there, I pulled my camera out and people said they would smash it. People told me I had to leave if I was going to film. Just a lot of hostility with filming. And I got to asking them why this was, and they said that the people in the house that were supposed to be evicted had specifically requested that no one film. I'm not sure if that's true, because I kept asking around and I actually got to talking with the organizer of the event, and she told me we're not supposed to film for liability on the protesters' behalf. So for example, if shit pops off and I film a protester doing something illegal, the police can then go back and arrest them for that. But then she went on to say if I wanted to record, I would have to get a specific press pass. And in order to get the press pass, I had to be friends with them, I had to be in good graces with Antifa, they had to make sure I wasn't gonna make them look bad. So I don't really agree with that tailor-made image being broadcasted. It just seemed a bit dishonest in my opinion. But everything else about the event was really cool. It was like a music festival. There was like bonfires and people smoking joints and telling stories. So just know when you see like everyone dressed in black, when you see the barricades, you know, when you see the graffiti, it's not really as dramatic as it looks. So I understand how like the optics of it, they look scary. But when you're surrounded by these people and when you actually get them talking about why they're there, the reasons are pretty inspiring, you know? They want to stand up for an indigenous family. They want to keep them from being kicked out onto the streets during a pandemic, during winter. So I totally get that. I just feel like it's done to the extreme. They're going a little bit overboard in my personal opinion. But you know, you can't really deny the fact that the people out there are trying to do good. They really do want what's best for their community. Now, we could have the argument of, are they doing the best job with that? You know, but at the end of the day, that's how they feel. And, you know, they're not bad folks. If you see this stuff on the news, you know, if you follow other social media accounts, just know that you can't always trust the pictures, you can't always trust the videos. I would encourage you guys to go out for yourself and talk to people. Like if you see somebody protesting in your neighborhood, ask them questions. Why are you angry? No matter what their political affiliation is, you'd be surprised some of the answers you get. At the end of the day, we're all just doing our best, right? And we're all doing what we think is right. So I would encourage you not to judge people just on how they look or by things you see about them on social media. Actually reach out to them and ask them questions for yourself. All right guys, peace, take care.